y'all, welcome back to the channel. So I'm gonna just do this video real quick. It is like 40 degrees today. It's freezing. So someone asked me today in my DMs, and it was a very good question, because if I would have knew then what I knew now, I could have avoided so many daggone situations. So the question of the day is, how do you know when it's time to cut somebody off? I'm gonna just pretty much speak from my experience and things that I went through in my past, and yeah, you could just kind of compare it. If you're dealing with anything similar, then let me know in the comment section down below. Also, I also value you guys' opinions as well. Let me know in the comment section down below how you guys determine when it was time to cut somebody off. Before I get into how I knew it was time, nobody is exempt. That means mama, daddy, brother, sister, cousin, aunts, uncles, regular friends, boyfriends, husbands, it don't matter. Anybody that violates you, it's time to go. A lot of times we linger things on a lot based off of history, and I feel like mine was definitely history. Talking to the same person every day, it's kind of hard to tell if they coming for you. So if you're having trouble figuring that out, then let's get into this video. Please understand that before you cut them off, whether you just go ghost on them or you decide to tell them why you cutting them off, which in my honest opinion, you shouldn't even have to tell them, because they should already know what they did to get cut off to begin with. A lot of times people think that they slick, and they sometimes will have you thinking that you going crazy or you losing your mind, and they'll flip the script on you to put the faults or the blame on you, to have you thinking that you crazy for thinking the way that you're thinking. But I'm here to tell you right now, you're not crazy. Especially if you've been feeling it for a while. If you just off the rip feel like something is kind of off, well, 9 times out of 10 you're feeling it because something really is off. But a lot of times, sometimes it's best to get a second opinion, and sometimes you can't really even go off of that second opinion or third opinion or anybody else's opinion, because they can't feel what you feel, they don't hear what you hear, they don't see what you see. Please understand that when it comes to cutting somebody off, people don't like to get cut off, and they become very angry. So if you told anybody your business or anything in secret, understand that you will see it again, or you will hear it again from other people, and that's just one of those consequences, you know. Not necessarily consequences because you didn't do anything wrong. It's just that people are very tricky nowadays. People will have you thinking that you are the best thing ever to you, and then get behind your back, and they've been calculating things that you've been doing wrong this whole time, and you would have never even had a clue about it and how they really felt unless you checked them about something, or you noticed them being shysty and it's time to cut them off. Number one sign, they went from acting like they really cared about you to now every conversation is dang, they're picking. And when I say picking, I mean trying to provoke you. A lot of times people don't really have a reason to be mad at you. If you're a good loyal person, you're not gonna be out here trying to mistreat them or do anything intentionally to hurt them. But if they don't really want to be cool with you no more, or if it's something that you've done unintentionally that you're unaware of, maybe they gave you advice on something and you didn't take the advice, because a lot of times I've heard people say, well, don't come to me for advice if you're not gonna take it. And I just feel like that's an unfair statement, because a lot of times you got to give people time to make certain decisions. A lot of people are not as strong as you are. So when people come to you for advice, a lot of times it's to vent, or sometimes they just want somebody to kind of hear them out and get their opinion. That does not necessarily mean that you tell another grown person, or that doesn't necessarily mean that you make another grown person feel like they have to do what you say just because you gave them sound advice. Now, it is your given right to Like if they keep coming to you about the same thing over and over and over and over, you have a right to say, hey, I've already gave you my advice. I don't want to keep giving you the same advice because you're not going to take it, and move on from it. But don't like get mad at that person and then like turn on them, because then that's where that saying come from. You know, anybody that turns on you and tell your business or say things and whatever to be spiteful and hurtful or try to embarrass you or shame you, then they was an enemy from jump. Back to what I was saying to like at the beginning when I first started talking. They'll start doing things like, if you say that you finna go get your hair done or something like that, they'll say things like, girl, do you think you can afford that? Or just like you getting their advice about your man or something like that, and they be like, huh, yeah, right. Like they just start saying things to irritate you and to provoke you. So whenever you ask them like, well, what's the problem, or like, do you got an issue, they'll swear up and down that they don't, but they really do. And because you check them about it, they'll use any little thing to like really say some hurtful things. Cause like people are like this. Like if they really just don't want to be a part of your life anymore without saying it, and then especially if they think that you slow. Like I've like looking back over my situations, I'm like, people have really thought that I was slow because I have a forgiving heart. Not anymore. Like I forgive, but I forgive now and you will not be back a part of my life. And that's just that, because like I have a really short fuse now, and it just came out of nowhere because I got tired of repeating the same cycle over and over and over. But a lot of times people will test you, and especially if you've been talking to a person for a really, really long time, you know what triggers you, and they'll start off by like saying some things that they think may like offend you to get you to say something back. And even if it pisses you off, if you bite your tongue and don't say nothing, they gonna keep trying and trying and trying, and before you know it, they gonna end up saying that one thing that they know for a fact is gonna get you to act out, and then they gonna play victim and make it seem like you're the one that's tripping. So that's one of the signs where they just provoking you with like any little small thing. Like it's almost like difficult to like kind of talk to them. You didn't even have to say that, or why would you say that? Like they just become like irritated with you over any little thing, and now they, yeah, picking with you. Another sign is they get mad at you for not doing what they want you to do. And so a lot of times people feel like because, you know, they are friends or whatever, like they want you to do what they want you to do. Like I said, a lot of people have that mentality of, well, if you're not gonna take my advice, don't come to me for it. And that's kind of unfair too, because a lot of times people just want to vent to someone that they trust, and it is their given right to say, hey, I've already given you the advice 2 or 3 times, I'm not gonna keep wasting my time on this. But a lot of times people don't know how to say that, and so they'll talk to you for years about the same situation over and over and over all day long, and they be really upset about it in the inside, but you won't hear about it until y'all fall out. Then they naming 10 other things that you've done this wrong, and they can't even name not one thing that you done right the whole time y'all was talking. So be very selective with, you know, who you go to for their advice, their opinion on things. Like I said, some people don't know how to really, like, some people are just not people and they think that they be giving like the best advice, and sometimes they feel like they really be handling situations maturely, and sometimes they really don't. They actually handle it like very immature. Another sign that it's time to cut somebody off is you find them talking about you behind your back. I have cut off a lot of people in the past because I felt like you shouldn't. If me and you falling out, I don't care if me and you know the same person and we was all cool, you should not be talking about me behind my back, period. If you got something to say to me, then you should say it to me, because the issue is not with the other person. And a lot of times I'm the type of person where I don't like for third parties to get in the middle, because Y'all know that little game in kindergarten where it's like 10 of y'all in a circle and the teacher will whisper something in one of the students' ear. By the time people done circled around whispering in everybody's ear, the teacher said that the sky is blue, but by the time it gets to the 15th person, they said that they like pizza. Like, that's literally what happens. Like, people, it's impossible to tell every single thing unless you got it in text messages or you can actually screenshot it and send it. But even then, like, that is extremely messy, and we not having messy friends. We're not doing that. Now, it's one thing, like, as a friend, if y'all talking about somebody together, like we all talking about the same person, even that's still messy. But that's what people do when you friends, and you know, y'all know how I go. Like, people be in church talking about, oh, look at her wig. Like, but if it's like you bringing the bone, and like you being messy, like repeating what somebody has said negative, I just feel like you intentionally want that person to be hurt, or you intentionally want me to be hurt. So therefore, you gotta go. Especially if I've said, hey, don't send me nothing else negative like this, and you still do it. That means that you're not respecting my boundaries, and so you gotta go. I would say as well, another sign is if the energy is not like reciprocated. Like, or, you know what, not necessarily that. Another sign could be like you got people like that are selfish. If you find that person being selfish, like the best example I can use, because I've had this happen before in my life numerous times, people can be on the phone with you all day long, 24/7. They can hear that you going through hell and high water, and then when you disappear, you get fighting mad, as if like they take it personally, as if you've done something to them. And it's like, girl, you've been on the phone with me for months at a time. You've heard me going through hell and back. Maybe I just want some time to get myself together. Maybe I'm like on the verge of having a mental breakdown. Or maybe I'm just trying to like fast and talk to God to see what God want me to do in my life. And you making it seem like I got a problem with you because you ain't heard from me in a whole month. If that's not a selfish individual, because be realistic, like if you talking to somebody every single day, all day on the phone, you're not getting much done at all. Like, I was watching one of Floyd Mayweather's motivational speeches, and I didn't think the brother knew how to read or calculate, but I guess he's been taking some classes. Why not? Because he got all that money, may as well. But he did some calculations on like things that we do every day, for sure going to like take up our time. And it's supposed to be 24 hours in a day, but we're really only getting about maybe anywhere from 15 to 19 hours to do whatever. And if you got kids, that time is getting shortened down by the second, especially if you have more than one child. So I was like, dang, that makes sense. Like, yeah. So if a person just cannot be understanding, and it just seems like they just want to pick and choose, or they just want to find any little thing to like pick with you about, like I said, nobody should be taking it personally, especially if you decide to go ghost, to isolate yourself, to heal from whatever, and to get yourself together. Because this is what I've noticed about people. People really don't care about what you're going through. They'll give you all the advice in the world. They don't care. They just want to know what's going on. And then when you get quiet, they panic because they don't know your business anymore, and they take it personally, instead of them looking at it like, okay, she's going through a lot of stuff, maybe she just needs her time to breathe. They'll sit there and make it seem like you've already cut them off. And so when they come at you and they know for a fact that you've been going through some things, and they still find a reason to like add more stress on top of what you're already dealing with, those selfish people we don't need, and you definitely need to cut them off. You can go on and on and on and on all day long, and I'll be sitting out here in this cold because this degrees is dropping by the second. But I'll be sitting out here in the cold, so I may end up doing like a part 2 for you guys if you guys would like for me to have a part 2. I'm gonna give y'all one more example when to know that it's time to cut somebody off, and this will be just so like the most obvious one. And I'm mad at myself because anytime somebody disrespects you and you keep constantly like forgiving them over and over and over and over, like the disrespect always get worse. It never gets better, it always get worse. It's just like, because people are gonna keep doing what you allow them to do. And people, like, it's just like a person that you let borrow money. You let them borrow money one time, they're gonna keep asking over and over and over. Some people have a hard time saying no because they feel like if they say no, then that means that they don't got it, and they don't want to be embarrassed, and they don't want to look a certain type of way. So they would rather just give you the money knowing that you're not gonna give it back, instead of telling you no, right? So that's kind of sort of how it works when it comes to disrespect. I just feel like if a person can violate you, especially for me, disrespect is disrespect. There's all, like, people say there's levels to disrespect. There's no levels, but I do feel like when it comes to disrespect, people can go overboard. And I just feel like the worst type of disrespect is when it's done in public, because not only is it humiliating, but it's embarrassing, right? Or if you overhear somebody that you care about and that's supposed to care about you, you hear them like disrespecting you on the phone to somebody, or like, you know, like little things like that. But when it comes to like disrespect and getting violated and getting like boundaries and stuff like that violated, it's definitely time to cut people off. And when it comes to relationships, y'all already know how it go. We as women, like, we really, like, we love hard because we're women. God made us to be very emotional. But you'll know when you, like, when you're done, when you've had enough. And when it comes to like, we gotta learn how to pull the trigger fast, because that kind of eliminates a lot of things. Like, when I look back over my life and I look at all the disrespect that I tolerated, I pretty much decreased my own value because I wasn't strong enough to walk away from that individual or those people. And I kept tolerating, kept tolerating, kept tolerating. And then I kept telling my business, telling my business, telling my business. And next thing you know, I'm seeing my business everywhere. And that's because that person never respected me to begin with, if that makes sense. Or those people never did respect me to begin with. So my advice, and again, we all give advice, you know, but any sign of disrespect from anybody, you can forgive, but never ever forgive them on that level again, because you just don't want to do that, because you can really keep having some setbacks, I put it like that. And I'll probably do a video tomorrow on how we can unintentionally decrease our value without realizing it, which is why some men, like, they treat women like crap, because they keep forgiving and they keep going back and whatever else. And you know, anytime we stick around with somebody or continuously hang around somebody that has been disrespectful and keeps being disrespectful, like, in a man's eye and other people's eyes as well, the value decreases. Giving people, giving a lot of people access to you for long periods of time, that decreases like our value as well. And so I'll get into more of that in another video, but I'm about to end this video. Yeah, and I'm about to get out this cold weather or whatever. So turn this heat back on. I hope you guys have been having an amazing week. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. If I don't talk to you guys, which I'm pretty sure I will, but yeah. So yeah, if y'all enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comment section down below. And another thing I want to say before I get off of this video, because a lot of times people are dismissive to people that life seems like it's a mess, when really if you take two people and you got Keisha over here that then been married, been divorced, then went through a lot of abuse, done went through hell and high water pretty much, like, and then like you see her trying to change her life, or she's already changed her life. And then you got Samantha, I don't know where I'm getting these names from, but you got Samantha over here to the right, and her life seems so perfect. Or a drug addict, for example, you on drugs and you want to get clean. So you have Keisha. She used to be a drug addict. She cleaned herself up really good. Hey, she's doing the thing now. She's good to go. She made it through. And then you got Samantha, who ain't never smoked a day in her life. Who would you go to for advice if you trying to stop being on them drugs? You're not gonna go to Samantha because her life is perfect and she's never even smoked a day in her life. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the person that you can relate to, because you want to know how you can get out of those type of situations. And so when I talk to you guys, I'm also helping myself. So yeah, when I talk to you guys, it's because like God put it on my heart to talk to y'all, but like it's healing as well for me, because it's a reminder of either what I need to do, a reminder of where I've come from, and all this other stuff. But never be dismissive towards somebody because you feel like their life is a mess, because like you're gonna have to find someone that has a similar story to yours and ask them how they made it through. Samantha wouldn't be no good for somebody if Samantha can't relate, and that's the reason why God take you through things to build your testimony, so that you can use that to motivate other people. So if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Some people, they'll never be able to relate to anything you say or do, because some people are quick on their feet when it comes to a lot of different life challenges. Some people are very lucky. Some people were raised properly, protected properly, so they may not ever have to go through like relationship stuff. But it may be another area that they may need help in, like they may end up getting cancer one day, and they may want to get encouragement from, and God forbid that, but the reality of it is there's a lot of cancer survivors. So a person that's going through cancer, that's scared out of their mind, is not going to go to someone that's never had cancer, or they wouldn't really like take their advice as solid. They're going to go to the person that has went through chemo, lost their hair, lost weight, struggled, made it through, done with chemo, hair came back, still living, still going strong. So yeah. But anyways guys, I'm gonna end this video, and I will see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.